the reason why we see William Ruto and the public sees William Ruto as a thief is because they still also have that mentality, poverty mentality.
How is poverty mentality eating Ruto? My name is 𝐏𝐿𝐴𝐭𝐲, and today with me is Dr. 𝐿𝐴𝐿𝐴𝐿𝐴𝐿𝐴𝐿. Karibu sana daktari.
Asante.
Ukoaje?
Niko poa, Michael.
You have said once and again that Ruto's presidency is affected by poverty mentality.
Yeah.
What is this and what does this mean? Can you prove that line of thought?
Yeah, this is deep. Unless people understand what we'll be talking about. Yeah, poverty mentality. I think one of the things which is discussed rarely in this country is about poverty mentality that plays out in politics. Poverty mentality in three ways. Number one, Ruto himself, he has always been bowed by this mentality from the time he was contesting for presidency in 2021, 2022. Maybe himself even he doesn't know, but I will tell him today. Two, of course, what we call the dynasty or the powers that have been. Because they are established deep states in this country, just like in any other country, even in the US. You remember the people we called the internal deep states?
Yeah.
And they are not poor people. They are people with money. Yeah. And of course, the third section of such kind of mentality, with that kind of mentality, are the people themselves. Okay, let me explain this from William Ruto's point of view. You remember, towards 2022, William Ruto himself would say, I am being belittled because I don't have a father who is known.
Yeah.
My father was a nobody. And he became a poverty apologist. And because of that, he also created a narrative which was called hustler narrative. It was considered as a narrative of the people who are low class. And that hustler narrative was also apologetic of the poverty levels in this country. You remember also him selling himself as a former chicken seller.
Yeah.
So he knew this mentality, I can use it to consolidate majority of the people who are supposed to endorse the president through the vote, through the ballot. So to me, in my interpretation, this is a kind of mentality that continue to eat William Ruto, even now when he is president. Because this is what now the people will ask. You used to be a chicken seller. You are now a billionaire. You must have stolen.
Yeah.
You must have stolen.
Yeah.
There is no way, according to the mentality of the people, there is no way you can tell us you were a chicken seller. And now when you became a politician, you became rich.
You're a billionaire.
You are a billionaire. The mentality of the people, which I am calling poverty mentality, is that you must have stolen. Two, the dynasties themselves. You remember, one of the things that the former president Uhuru Kenyatta would discourage Kenyans from, one of the narratives they used to discourage Kenyans from voting William Ruto in as president was that he will steal a poverty mentality from these big, rich people. That if a poor person becomes president, they are coming to steal. Let me illustrate that using a very good thing we have in society. You know, poverty is very bad. I usually say poverty has no honor, has no respect,
Has no dignity.
has no dignity. If something happens in the village, even when I was growing up, if there is a poor person around, people would say, "Nia liba," because you are konanja. You get that mentality? Yeah. And the same mentality goes even in politics. People believe if you get into politics poor, if you drive a car, you have stolen. And that is why you realize, even Ruto himself, he cannot believe that a poor person can be a CS. And I'm going to tell you how. William Ruto cannot believe that he can have a CS who is not a billionaire or a multimillionaire. Prove me wrong. Because in this mentality is this. If I have a poor person, they will steal. And I can tell you, this is not conscious. It is a subconscious desire. And that is why, just go back and listen to his CS's declaration of wealth. We have 2 billionaires.
Mr. Speaker, my net worth is 2,361,332,249.
Made out.
Largely by developed and undeveloped properties, which include my homes in Mombasa, Vipingo, Nairobi, and Malindi. Shareholding in some property holdings. Shareholding in family businesses. Valuables, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah referred to them as jewelry, but it's just basically watches. And cash at bank.
One is Joho, the other one is Kabogo.
Residential houses, Mr. Speaker, my total net worth is about 700 million. Movable assets of about 40 million, Mr. Speaker. Land and farm, about 756 million, Mr. Speaker. Cash and current assets of about 64 million, Mr. Speaker. Beg your pardon. And interest and shares in companies, approximately 1.5 billion. So a total of about 3.01 billion, Mr. Speaker.
And all these others, their wealth declaration was in multiple of millions. Yes. They are not poor. Yeah. Now, if that is the case, then it follows that even the reason why we see William Ruto and the public sees William Ruto as a thief is because they still also have that mentality. That William Ruto cannot come from a father who is not known, come from being a chicken seller and just become a multi-billionaire, just like that. According to the public, he must have stolen. He must be stealing. And that is how poverty mentality is eating William Ruto. And I can tell you, it is going to continue to hound him because he used it himself. It is also going to be used to gauge him.
But Daktari, that poverty mentality is the one that made him the president.
And it is the one which is going to make the people believe that he is a thief. Because you told us you are a hustler. Sindio,
yeah.
Where have you gotten the money from?
Hard work.
Which hard work? No one becomes rich through hard work. Actually, financial gurus will tell you, hard work cannot make you wealthy. What can make you wealthy is working smart. So as long as he used that strategy, he is not going to disentangle himself from it because the same strategy will be used to soil him.
How can that affect his presidential running in 2027?
Of course, he is going to find another strategy because he believes that one of the strongest points in his political CV is that he comes from being a chicken seller, to presidency. He believes that. And he uses that to sell himself as a commoner who went into the royal family. And according to him, he went there against a very big opposition from the people he used to call dynasties. In fact, it is the same mentality that he was using to say some people are dynasties, now again hustlers. And then himself, he was a hustler. At what time did he now become a dynasty? At what time did he become the same level in terms of wealth with the dynasty? Then they will say he stole. So how is that going to affect 2027? He still is going to ride on the same narrative. And because he is going to ride on the same narrative, he will live with that narrative until his second term, if he wins in 2027. And there is no going back about that.
Yeah. The Bible says leadership comes from God.
Yeah.
So whether rich or poor, you can be a leader.
Yeah.
How does the perception of wealth and status affect leadership legitimacy in Kenya?
Actually, the Bible does not say leadership comes from God. The Bible says all leadership, all, whether good or bad, it comes from God. Because God is not a democratic God. So the kingdom of God and his kingdom is not the rule of the people by the people. No. God gives nations kings, whether they know him or they don't know him. Every leadership, every authority comes from God. So some people, especially clergy in 2022, they were making a lot of noise. Oh, Ruto comes from God. But also Uhuru Kenyatta came from God. Kibaki came from, every leader came from God. So they cannot seclude this one and start now telling the nation, now this one is the only one who has come from. And that is why they are paying for making that mistake. They contradicted the Bible. They misread the same Bible that they are preaching. So, of course, that is why they are ashamed. That is why they are being blamed. But they cannot blame God, because God did not say good leadership comes from me. No. God said, the Bible says, all leadership. The Bible did not qualify the kind of leadership that comes from him. He said all. Whether Nebuchadnezzar, whether David,
Solomon,
whether Solomon, all of it, all of that leadership comes from God. If they read their Bible well, that is what it is.
So how does that perception of wealth and status affect politics in Kenya?
The wealth and status. Of course, it is a big contradiction. And when, for example, William Ruto is not a poor person. William Ruto is not a hustler. Maybe he was a hustler. He is not. From 1990s, he has never been a hustler. But of course, as a smart politician, he knows this is a mobilizing factor and a narrative I can use to mobilize people to associate with them. He did successfully achieve his head. And he's likely now to use a different strategy. In fact, in 2027, he is now not likely to use hustlers. He is going to use the leaders of hustlers. The likes of Raila Odinga. Those are leaders of hustlers in their own turfs. Yeah. If the sheep is not coming, you capture the shepherd. Yeah. You scatter the shepherd and the sheep will be scattered. At the same time, what that verse does not say in the Bible, if you gather the shepherd, you will gather the sheep also. That's also the truth on the other side. So if you hit the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. What if you capture the shepherd? So you'll also capture the sheep.
The sheep, yeah.
That's the same thing. Yeah. In 2022, he actually gathered the sheep.
In 2027?
In 2027, he will gather the shepherds and the sheep will come.
Many people don't believe that you can rise from a chicken seller to a president. How has Ruto demonstrated poverty mentality since attaining the presidency? Has he demonstrated poverty mentality?
Yes, throughout his politics since he was a deputy president, when he wanted to differentiate himself from Uhuru Kenyatta, he employed that strategy. Poverty mentality, he has employed it, and I've said it, through his appointments. He cannot appoint a person who is poor into his cabinet. Maybe people will ask themselves. I've heard actually the Ruto followers asking this question. Why is it that you did not complain when Uhuru was president, when Kibaki was president? Why are you complaining now and making things hard when Ruto is president? I'm going to answer them. The same mentality could not allow us to complain about Uhuru Kenyatta. Because according to us, Uhuru Kenyatta comes from a royal family, royal in quotes in this nation, and according to us, a rich person cannot steal. So no one complained about him stealing. Does it mean there was no corruption during Uhuru's regime?
It was there.
There was a lot of corruption. But why is it that corruption under Ruto's regime is more blown out? It's because of the same mentality. It's the village mentality that says like this. If a poor person in the village, you are born poor, they saw you poor, and then you come and build a good house, a good business, they will say you umeingia Illuminati. Because according to the people in the village, they cannot believe that you can become richer like that. And even your classmates will be saying, huyu jamaa tumesoma na yeye, hakuna kitu amefanya, ameingia majini ndio imempatia pesa. Mentality. But if you are coming from a rich family and then you become rich in the village, no one will complain. Even when you have inherited nothing from your father and you have worked yourself, you are coming from a rich family, they will say, oh, you may inherit. Because people have never wanted to accept that someone else can do better than them. That is the mentality. The same mentality comes to politics. If today, even you yourself, if today you go back to your place in Nyeri, driving and build a good house, utaona wazee wameanza kukusanya. Wanasema huyu kijana atuambia ametoa pesa wapi? Kwani ameingia kwa ile chama. And then they will start observing people dying in the village, wanasema ni wewe unawa sacrifice.
So watasema ni forex sai.
Hawajui forex. Let me shock you. Even today, people who do forex, they are called scammers. Yes. Still, the mentality of the poor people don't want to believe that you can do clean forex and become a millionaire. And they cannot believe that you can become a millionaire at age 20, 23. They will say you are a scammer. Is that news? Yeah, it's not news. That's the poverty mentality that we have. And we have it in economics. We have it in politics. We have it in society as our culture. And that mentality actually kills Africa. And it is the only reason also that makes us believe that for you even to benefit from politics, you must loot. And it is held both by the politicians themselves and by wananchi. There are people who cannot believe that you can just get a job in government like that. They believe you must give someone something. In fact, let me shock you. Even when you hear that there is corruption in government institutions when they are employing, some people decide to be free and fair, but someone comes begging them to take a bribe. One time, I was IBC head clerk in my constituency. And I remember when we were recruiting enumerators, someone brought me a goat and he told me, asante sana mkubwa, nina ushughulikie hii mambo. For me, I didn't understand. I didn't even know. I was fresh from the university. But I'm a head clerk and they think I have the power to do that. I was given a goat. Thank God that goat died later. So corruption does not even come from the institutions. It comes from the people themselves. Yeah. So people are used that lazima nipeane kitu ili Haven't you seen when you are in a matatu? Polisi wako pale mbele na unasikia driver anaambia na hamujafika kwa matatu mkaitishwa pesa. Lakini wewe polisi mzuri uko hapo, unaona umesalimiwa, umepewa pesa, sasa au kuitisha, you are just checking, no more checking. Tomorrow you think that mentality now comes, okay, ukisimama una shake hard. So corruption is not only systemic in this country, it is in everybody. And that's our problem. So that same mentality guides our politics. And so when we are discussing President Ruto and poverty mentality, it is tripartite. Tripartite in this way. It is the mentality of the people who cannot trust him, that he can come from a chicken seller to a multi-billionaire and then president. They will say it was not in vain. First of all, they will say he stole the elections and he is stealing our money. Two, the dynasties themselves, the rich people who cannot believe that we can just have someone come down there and cross over on our side. They will actually find it easier to cripple him through accusations of him being corrupt and a thief. Then also Ruto himself, he believes that if I am having any problems, it is because I was poor. You get? So himself, according to him, his history is that I was poor and now I am here. And now wananitesa, wanani-accuse kwa sababu ni. And that is why you have even heard him ask even people from Central, mbona amuko complain wakati Uhuru alikuwa? That question is valid. But his subconscious mind tells him, it is being done to you, whatever is being done, because you come from a nobody. You are a son of a nobody. And that is the trauma that he will live with throughout. And someone was asking, what if just President Ruto is a good president? By the way, let me ask you, how many scandals have we had with President Ruto?
None.
They are there, but it's more small. Do you know how many scandals rose during President 𝐏𝐶𝐫𝐭𝐲's reign? Multi-billion scandal. Yeah. So sometimes I don't know.
And what are the risks and the opportunities that this poverty mentality carries for President Ruto?
The opportunities, you won an election using the mentality. The risk, the force that raises an aeroplane is the same one that sustains it up there. If he rose through poverty mentality will sustain him. And it is going to be ruthless on him.
What if he shed out the poverty mentality?
He cannot. He cannot shed it because it is the force that ile ilimuinua. Hata Wakikuyu wanasemanga ile nguvu inainuanga ndege ndio inaiwekanga juu. That's the rule of power. If you get into power through a certain mentality, you have to have it and continue empowering that force so that it sustains you up there.
And now as we conclude, Dr. What is the future of national leadership and the future of the country under this mentality?
Of course, we need to change our way of thinking. Otherwise, we will never end corruption in this country. By the way, corruption in this country, much of it is in our minds. Much of corruption is in our minds. Just go to the streets and ask people, Ruto ameiba. Ni mwizi kabisa. Ameiba nini? Hapana. He has stolen. He has stolen. They will not give you figures, they will not give you numbers, but he is corrupt. So if you ask them, what is it that he has done? A few of them will give you evidence. A few of them will rely on hearsay. A few of them will rely on propaganda. If you ask people now, Kibaki was a good president, what is it that he did? They will not even tell you he was good. Yeah, he was good. So you see, there is this comedian on social media. During this one term, he had this script where he was coming out of the house with a stone saying, one term. Then he met a police and he is asking, what are you saying? One term, why? Sini one term. I don't know, but one term.
It's one term. Yeah.
So, and then he started saying, it's one term because our hero were being killed. So, anauliza, which hero? Ajui, you understand? That is the kind of illusion that we have. So we are not saying William Ruto is the perfect president. But we are trying to decode one mentality that makes us create a perception that eats us. Because we will never have a confidence with our leaders until we decide and we deliberately decide that we are going to support our leaders, we are going to hold them accountable, not because of propaganda, but based on their performance that we already know. So that when we are criticizing not only President Ruto, and I used to say this even during the Uhuru Kenyatta's government, not only President Ruto, but future president, if we don't embrace confidence in our leaders, they will never be good. Every leader will be bad. And we will live like that. And out of that, we will create bad leaders as we continue. So the impact of that is for us now, we will have bad leaders because good or bad governance is in our perception. It's just like sickness. Do you know 70% of the sickness is in your mind? Yeah. It's usually in your mind. The same thing, 70% of corruption, 70% of bad governance is in our mind. It's not there. Yes.
So you mean that another way to do away with corruption is to erase first the poverty mentality?
Yes. That will be the first thing. It's just like if you want to heal and you are sick, the first thing you do is first of all remove sickness in your mind. You will have healed 70% of your sickness. And that is what doctors do. Sometimes you go to the hospital and the doctor listens to you and listens and realizes, okay, it's only that this person just has some stress and they are not sick. They believe they need to be treated. Then the doctor will give you some placebos or some Panadols. Then later, and that is why doctors do not want to write the name Panadol. They will write P and something. It's only the chemist who know this is Panadol. Then you'll be given Panadol kunywa mbili kwa kila siku. Then you go and take Panadol. Nilipona. Where? It was in your mind. So they just gave you something so that you believe. So if Kenyans can have that change of mind and know that, first of all, governments are evil. Governments are not good. No government is good. Governments are evil institutions. But they are unnecessary evil because they are better when they exist than when they don't exist. Two, the people who go to governance, they are not angels. They are human beings. They have their weaknesses. Full stop. They can never be angels. So we understand that, and then we support them when it is deserved and criticize them when it is deserved. That is the difference between developed world and struggling world. There are these countries which are struggling to develop. Of course, Kenya being one of them.
Was Ruto the first person to use the poverty mentality?
No.
There are others?
Yes. Of course, it is only Kibaki who did not use that.
Uhuru used it?
Yes.
How?
He said, I am a Kenyatta son. I'm the son of the first president. Therefore, he had the name. He had the power to become. He never used it himself. But people used it and endorsed him using that mentality. Do you know how that mentality works? Today, if Uhuru Kenyatta's son goes to Gatondo South and say, I want to be MP, he will be elected. Another Joroge wa Kamau will be a fringe candidate. Why? One has the power to become because he has the name, the other one doesn't have. And then people believe this one we know, and we know their family, we know this is a good leader. This one we don't know is poor. Maskini
atatuibia huyu.
Yeah, atatuibia. You know, that kind of a thing. So poverty mentality is bigger than we see it. And it really affects our politics. Yeah.
Asante sana daktari.
Yeah.
We have come to the end of our show.
Yeah, asante.
Until we meet again, our viewers, don't forget to subscribe and like our videos. Bye-bye.